On tonight's Pacific Storyland, we're off to meet a Portland couple you might say was destined to be together because of where they grew up. But like many true great love stories at the heart, it isn't quite that simple, with a couple of decades and, yes, a little twist of fate. Catherine Cook and photographer Corey Long bring us the tale of two houses, one love.
Sally Tappinen and David Faraday share a lot of history.
She knows Kelly O'Connor.
Yeah. Both went to Lincoln High School.
Look at those legs. Dang. I was like lean, mean.
In the 80s.
I'm still mean, just not lean.
You're still lean and mean. Both had been married before.
I thought I was sort of, the last chapter of my life had been written.
Then found love again.
I remember thinking, love is never going to happen for me.
And both were raised on the same foundation. Really?
These were old houses.
Identical homes.
And they had the same footprint, the same outside.
Built 6 miles apart.
And it's just so funny that we ended up together. Like, it was so meant to be.
Sally grew up in this house in Northeast Portland's Irvington neighborhood.
I took the bus, 2 buses, the 9 that went downtown and another bus to get up to Lincoln.
It was during that morning routine that Sally first noticed her house had a twin. Back in the 80s, TriMet used to print photos of historic homes on their bus passes.
I got my bus pass and we're looking and I'm thinking, that house looks an awful lot like my house. And I'm like across the street looking at the house going.
It was the Bennis house in Southwest Portland near Washington Park. David and his family lived here. Architect John Bennis designed the house and lived here first in 1911. A year later, Bennis built the house that Sally grew up in. Not far from there, another Portland icon, the historic Hollywood Theater, which Bennis also designed.
He was quite the architect.
David would know. He's also an architect. So were his parents, who were thrilled to learn of the twin houses. The families arranged to tour each other's homes. Sally remembers.
My parents said, oh, they have 2 sons at Lincoln. I was like, okay, you know.
In high school, Sally and David ran in different circles.
I knew of him. I always thought he was handsome.
But that was about it, until 25 years later, and this chance reunion with David through mutual friends.
And at the end of the night, somebody said, let's all toast to being a single parent. And I raised my glass, and David's like, what?
Oh, why didn't anyone tell me?
After that, one date is all it took.
I looked at him, he looked at me, and it was like, okay, we're done.
Yeah, we both knew.
Most couples don't bring up their past. These guys
We did. We talked about the house a lot.
couldn't wait.
We talk about, which family member was in what room.
We had the same bedroom growing up.
There was this big old furnace in the basement.
And when you turned it on, it clanked, clunk, clank, clank.
Yeah, if I had friends over, it freaked them out.
In 2015, Sally and David got married, excited to build their own home together. They didn't plan for what happened next.
A year after we got married, David came down with stage 3 cancer.
It was colon cancer. David had just turned 50 and hadn't wanted to get screened.
Basically, I'll deal with it later, and it goes away. Luckily, Sally's like, you got to get this.
At first, doctors thought the cancer had spread to David's liver. The news was grim.
So for about 2 weeks, I thought I had maybe just a few years to live.
I just thought it was so unfair because I'd finally found my person, and I was like, there's no way you're taking my person away from me.
Then doctors learned David had a fighting chance, and fight he did.
But it was a year of chemotherapy, surgery, radiation, more surgery.
Today, David is cancer-free.
This is all just bonus, the rest of my life. When you're, sorry, it gets emotional because you've made peace, with that being the end of your life, and so yeah, it changes your attitude.
It's hard not to look back on history and marvel at what we've learned.
It doesn't matter what house you're in, but it's what you do inside the house that makes it your home.
The blueprints we tried to follow.
You know, you can plan your life, but just, it's so much of it's luck.
The foundations we build that give way.
She was my rock.
To something stronger. It all leads us down a path we never could have planned. In Southwest Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
And what an amazing path it is. Catherine, amazing story. Love to hear your ideas for Pacific Storyland as well. You can text her at 503-226-5088. You can also email pacific-storyland@kgw.com. Catherine, Corey, thanks for